We might be getting live-action Grand Admiral Thrawn. Like, what? What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Smash that like button with the ruthless tactical precision of Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Capital ships, hold your position. Their cruisers will have to come to us.
And let's get right into this video. So yes, indeed, new reports indicate that both Lucasfilm and Disney are actively casting or looking to cast a live-action Grand Admiral Thrawn. This report officially comes from Diz Insider, who say they've gotten this scoop from Daniel Richtman. We've talked about Daniel Richtman a lot, very reliable source, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this the thumbs up. I think it's probably happening. Holy mother of God, we're actually getting Grand Admiral Thrawn. Like, what is actually going on with Star Wars right now? Are they actually doing things correct? I'm going to read right from the DizInsider.com, and then we'll speculate and talk about what we think this means. So they say here, according to our good friend Daniel Richtman, Disney is looking to cast a live-action Grand Admiral Thrawn to be used in future Disney projects. Over the last couple of weeks, various characters from the Clone Wars and Rebels will make their live-action debut: Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan, Captain Rex, and Ezra Bridger. I had to reread that sentence, but it is a terrible sentence. This is a really cool scoop, but the Diz Insider, what the hell, man? The report goes on, no word on specific project. However, there's a rumor of him getting his own series. Okay, so it sounds like the rumor as of now is that there will be a live-action Thrawn series, likely on Disney+. But either way, Lucasfilm is casting live-action Grand Admiral Thrawn, and the report indicates for future Disney projects with an S, meaning multiple projects. Again, this is leading into this whole Star Wars MCU thing that I keep talking about. And by the way, just for the record, not trying to be rude, but I really don't care if you don't like that I call it the Star Wars MCU.
It doesn't matter what you think!
But yeah, it seems like they're arming up a live-action Grand Admiral Thrawn for the future of the Star Wars MCU. And let me just go to speculation town here. Let's just make a clear distinction. This part of the video is where the official reporting ends and the total fanboy nerding out speculation begins, okay? So adjust your perceptions of this accordingly. So it would make sense for Grand Admiral Thrawn to play a pretty significant role in the story moving forward. And here's why. We just talked about this yesterday in the video about Ezra Bridger coming into live action. The deal is this. The ending of Star Wars Rebels sees Grand Admiral Thrawn and Ezra Bridger with the Purrgil like shot out into space. They take a hyperspace trip somewhere unknown, and according to the lore, nobody knows where they're at or what they're doing for a good bit of time. Because it is not until years later that Ahsoka comes to get Sabine and they go on a journey to find Ezra Bridger. And so there's a lot of questions there. What was going on with Thrawn and Ezra? What are they up to? What's going on? And what will take place with the story with Ahsoka and Sabine looking for these characters? Now, as we touched on yesterday, again, in the sense of this connective tissue that the Star Wars MCU is looking to build, you're going to have the appearance for these characters in The Mandalorian Season 2 springboard the Star Wars Rebels sequel series. That series is said to be about the search for Ezra Bridger, okay? And then what a lot of people, including myself, are speculating about is the fact that the live-action Ahsoka Tano series is actually going to be a sort of canonical sequel to what happens during the events of the Rebels animated sequel series, okay? So this is that idea of all of these shows tying together, of telling this story as it moves forward. Again, a lot of that MCU connective tissue and sort of creating stories that fit together in a nice way that you want to continue to be watching the story. What is happening next? Oh, the next part of the story takes place in this show. Then the next part of the story will take place in this show, etc., etc. But then this kind of begs a really obvious question, and that is, are they going to set up Thrawn as the big bad, as the villain of whatever time period they explore next? Because in Legends, Thrawn, and not Snoke and not the First Order, but Thrawn is the person that takes over the Empire. He becomes, for all intents and purposes, the Emperor of the galaxy. And through Thrawn, and by the command of Thrawn, the Empire then has a lot of things that they accomplish in the sort of original Legends sequel to Return of the Jedi. This is the Heir to the Empire series with Timothy Zahn. You know, obviously no longer canon, but that was the way that Thrawn was used as a villain back then. And so a lot of Star Wars fans would look at these circumstances and what they're building towards on Disney Plus and say, okay, are they going to make Thrawn the villain? And I actually don't think so. And the reason is because if you've been reading the new canon material with Thrawn, they have made some changes to the character of Thrawn, and one of the biggest changes is that he's kind of a sympathetic character. When he is first brought into the Empire and discovered, there is this story that he was exiled from his people because he did a preemptive strike on the Grisk, which is this enemy out there in the unknown regions that poses a big threat to his people, who are the Chiss. Okay, but the Chiss, they stand on decorum. They don't do things like that. They don't preemptively strike. Thrawn preemptively strikes on a colony of Grisk, and they literally exile him for that. But there's also this sort of underlining theory or story that is curious in the Thrawn material in canon, because it almost seems like he's not really loyal to the Empire. In fact, Thrawn even openly admits that back in the day when he comes into the galaxy, our galaxy, or the known Star Wars galaxy, during the age of the Republic, he is actually trying to assess the power level of the Republic. Are they a threat? Are they a potential ally? And the same thing happens later on. The Empire itself is viewed by Thrawn as a powerful tool and a powerful ally in the potential fight that he thinks will happen with the Grisk themselves. And so Thrawn actually aligns himself with the Emperor, not because he believes in what the Empire is doing or that he believes in the Emperor, but rather he believes that, just statistically speaking, the Empire is strong enough and powerful enough to be a proper ally in what he sees as a coming inevitable conflict. And to sprinkle even more speculative fuel on this fire, there are a lot of rumors that during the events of the Rebels sequel show, there will sort of be this outside threat where Ezra and Thrawn are potentially fighting against the Grisk, only to realize that the Grisk themselves are actually coming in to where the Chiss are at, because they themselves are being invaded by an even crazier force, something like the Rakatan Empire or the Yuuzhan Vong. That is only rumors. Nothing I've seen from official people has even talked about how this could be correct. I really wanted Noah and Corey from Kessel Run Transmissions to just give me something on that to make me sort of believe it. They've got nothing on that. It's only rumors, but it is a rumor. And it would be very interesting if in the events of the Rebel sequel series, we get this sort of new faction, this new invading force that forces people that wouldn't normally become allies to become allies. And another interesting parallel between something that happened in Legends and the potential for this to work in the new canon is this idea that the Yuuzhan Vong themselves actually invade the known galaxy specifically after the Empire is destroyed, and this is because the Empire was really the biggest threat to them just wiping everything out. The Empire was the faction in the galaxy that had the military might to actually stand up to the Yuuzhan Vong and repel them. And so it's sort of this opportunistic thing where after a major conflict and the Empire is dismantled, the Grisk the Yuuzhan Vong just come in and take over everything. And so you could potentially see something like that being set up in a post-Episode 9 world. The First Order, the New Empire, whatever they were calling it, that's pretty much decimated. There's a lot of destruction on even the side of the Rebels. I mean, the Hosnian system is gone. A lot of that military is gone. So the galaxy itself is sort of in a vulnerable state. And it would be fascinating to see Lucasfilm set up a scenario in which Ezra Bridger and Ahsoka and maybe some other Jedi, even Cal Kestis, who would be much older by the time we get to post-Episode 9, but that those characters would band together and stand with a character like Thrawn, uniting the factions of the known Star Wars galaxy against an outside threat. There is technically some precedence for something like this happening, and I think it would be incredibly interesting. So it's all just speculation for now, but honestly, when I think about the little insight that we have on what Disney is actually doing with these shows, and then I think about the possibilities, as a Star Wars fan, I'm just quite frankly really excited about the future possibilities. So that's sort of the report and my speculation. I, of course, want to know what you think about all of this, so let us know in the comment section below. And now let's shout out E. Hazel. Yes, indeed, Ezra Bridger was born on Empire Day. So shout out to you, E. Hazel. And now let's ask another nerd card question before we get out of here. I want to know, what is the name of the human Imperial that Thrawn sort of mentors and takes under his wing, who eventually goes to join with the Chiss Higher Ascendancy? What is the name of that Imperial human character? Answer that question in the comments section below. If you absolutely need more nerdy content, you can click or tap over there to watch some more of our videos, or come on by our live streaming channel where we live stream all the time. Like this video if you liked it, and if you want to take your support to the next level and join the list of amazing people you see listed below, check out our Patreon for some behind-the-scenes content. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.